Hey spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Transport Fever. Now in the last episode we just upgraded this train, and as you can see, he has picked up now 26 of the 28 people, so this was a good upgrade in my opinion. By the time he makes it over here there will probably be enough people. I think we'll only really be upgrading one of these trains for now. Mainly what we're trying to do is we're trying to wait some time for these cities to grow and for our income to increase. There is some food sitting here waiting for the trucks to arrive and transport it. It looks like that definitely did increase the amount of stuff that we're getting. So something we're probably going to want to do is double up this line here and then extend it over to West Valley City, because West Valley City also wants food. You can see it here, demands about 69 food, which should in theory increase the capacity that we can run through here. So if we take a look at this thing, it will be very expensive to build through here, but I think it might be worth it. If we look at, I want to go from here to one. I want there to be a train station over here. This is going to be quite an expensive thing, so we're going to want to save up some money here. Now we are just barely breaking even. We can see here, for example, this WC Tram 1 is actually doing really, really well. To the point where if I take a look at this, it actually looks like we still don't have enough trams, because it looks like there's people waiting here to be picked up in a lot of these stations. So it might even be worth it to continue to buy more trams to make sure that these guys are getting enough. So let's go in here. We're going to buy another two trams. Oh, I'm gonna have to take out a loan. I don't want to take out another loan, so what I'll do is I'll wait till one of my train arrives with some money, and then I'll buy 2 extra trams. I'll keep this up on the screen while we wait. See this train full of goods heading over to here. It'll be dropping off some stuff and then picking it up. Look at that. We're just barely, I feel, just barely breaking even. We're probably going to want to repay some of these loans, because you can see here the loan interest is up over 100k right now, which is a lot. A lot of our stuff is in loan repayments right now, and we're gonna want to start repaying that loan to cut down on the amount of debt that we have, because it's eating into our profitability. So we're going to drop off these passengers here. Then I'll buy 2 trams real quick, and then I will assign them to the WC tram line, and hopefully that will do the trick and make people get moved a little bit quicker, because yes, there is some money being made in this city in the tram line. It's not a whole lot of money, but I'm hoping that the speedier transportation will increase the profitability. What I might also do is do some of these bus lines. Now I could take out a loan and extend this and do more of that stuff, but I'm going to keep it relatively simple. So this thing should be loaded with food right now. It is. That's really good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can change the food truck line. You know, it works just fine the way it is. You can see the food getting loaded up here. Some of the food went into some of the commercial buildings over here. For example, if I go into here, you can see it's really well supplied with food, which increases the happiness and the productivity of this town. You can see how the town is starting to grow now. If we go over and we compare it to, for example, St. Paul, where I haven't been doing anything, this has been fairly static. Fort Lauderdale now is actually, it should be pretty close to being one of the biggest towns. Yeah, it used to be a mid-range, about 160, but now it's starting to become one of the bigger towns. Also, then we can also check out the things going on over here. So are you carrying a big bunch of people? See over here? Yep. So it looks like this passenger route has begun to be a high capacity passenger route. We're going to want to upgrade some of these trains again. Again, a lot of people hanging out at these tram stations. It looks like they want to be picked up and moved. By these trams. Let's see. Offloaded here. Yeah, we might have to make even more trams actually, but we gotta wait for money. So in the early game, when you're in the 1850s, your services move kind of infrequently because there's not a lot of people. Your income is quite sporadic and it comes in kind of these weird bursts. This is actually really bad. There's a lot of people hanging out here. And that is not a good thing to have people hanging out there. We're going to want even more trams, I think. I don't want to take out another loan though, because the interest repayments are becoming excessive, in the realms of 120k. So we are into January of this year, 1857. Hoping we get a bit of money. Now we are losing money on a lot of these routes. If we look at, for example, the food line, we're making about, yeah, we're just about breaking even on it, but we'll have to wait till it actually drops off food. But for example, the food truck line is making a little bit of money, the tram line is making a little bit of money, and this tram line is also making a little bit of money. Are there passengers hanging around? It looks like we could take out a loan and upgrade some of these trains, and that might actually be worth it to do. So if I were to go into here and I were to say, hey look, I want you to go up to 4 cars, let's say 1.5 million. I'm going to take that out. As expensive as it's going to be, and I'm just going to hope that that pays off. I'm going to just hope that that pays off, and then I'm going to use the remaining money over here to buy an extra 4 trams, and then I'm going to set them to the WC tram and just hope that that increased throughput gets these people moving. And then I'm kind of just like, I've kind of spent all my money, and then I'm just going to try and repay down my loan as these services make money. Because I need to reduce, because the loan interest is super hardcore eating into our interest. So a lot of this episode is actually just going to be waiting and watching as these trams move around. We can kind of see them. It's a really interesting game though. If we look at West Valley City, we can see we're moving 37% of the population here, which, you know, it says mediocre, but that's actually pretty decent, in my opinion. Food is going to be delivered here to Fort Lauderdale here soon. You can see they're pretty well supplied on the food department. This farm should have probably be ready to upgrade. Yeah, look at it, it's a level 2 farm because it has a limit of 200. Generally speaking, the higher the level it is, the more it can produce, the more cities it can supply. We dropped off some more food here. Let's have a look at some of these routes. If we turn off this eye, we can see, so let's have a look at some of our train routes. So the train routes are definitely profitable. They're making money, which is what we want from them, right? The bus routes are a little bit less profitable, but that's okay. The bus routes, they're not losing a whole lot of money, right? They're only losing a few little blips of cash here and there, which is totally acceptable. The tram routes are generally profitable, which is good. That's what you want. You want the tram routes to be profitable. And that's pretty much it. So we're kind of being carried by the trains right now. We're waiting. We're big time. We're doing a lot of waiting for the cash to come in. Oh my god, there's a lot of food built up at this station, to the point where if I could take out enough money to put a second train on this route and connect up West Valley City, I would definitely do that. But we're probably going to have to do just a little bit of waiting. That's an unfortunate part of the game, is that you kind of have to do waiting, because this train pretty much goes once a year. Oh, actually, something interesting here is we do have a new train available. So if we were to click on this train, this train is it's extremely slow, right? Because it's a very weak train pulling a lot of cargo. But if we, for example, we went in here and we said to replace this vehicle, we can see now. Let's have a look at this train's stats, right? It has a top speed of 40 kilometers per hour, okay? The General only has a top speed of 45 kilometers per hour. But that's not the full story, because this train is carrying a bunch of stuff, right? So it's really slow. Where's the train button? Right? It's come this far and it's still not at its max speed. It's almost traveled half the journey and it's not at its max speed. But if we were to use the General, if we go look at the stats of the General, it only goes 45 miles an hour fast, 5 kilometers per hour faster, right? And it weighs twice as much, but it has nearly double the amount of power, so it can pull twice as much cargo at the same speed. So that's definitely something we're going to want to do. We're going to want to upgrade. Since the food grain line is our most profitable route, we're definitely going to want to upgrade that one. So we're going to add the general to the upgrade for this. We're going to add, currently I think it's carrying, how many grain cargo is it? It's carrying 4, so I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need 1.2 million to pay for that. But that would be a big upgrade if we could do it. So let's just hope we're profitable. What's your overview? See, it's at 25 kilometers per hour. It's really, really slow. So this upgrade actually, as far as I'm concerned, once this money drops in, I'm gonna be clicking up to the upgrade for this guy. I'm gonna take out that extra loan. Or just slow it down so that I'm timing this right. I don't know if I'll be able to take out a big enough loan for this. I need 1.2. I need to have 200k in the bank if I can manage that. So maybe when it lands over here at Fort Lauderdale Central. I'm hoping these passenger routes will also start to carry their weight a little bit. Right now they're not, but they might in the near future. These trams, are these trams still profitable is a question I need to ask. Yeah, looks like they're still just about making money. It's a tough old game to make money in, especially when you're playing on medium. I thought I was doing a good job, but this train needs to be replaced big time, and I'm hoping when this food drops off I might have enough. But maybe I'm just wishful thinking. We're close. We're close to having enough, but we need to just keep our wits about us and wait. That is one of my biggest complaints about the game. There's a lot of waiting a lot of the time. Because we can't actually take out much more of a loan, right? So we're kind of just stuck waiting for money to come in. And we have profitable routes. We need a little bit more investment to make them more profitable. And you know, maybe you could say this sort of stuff is holding me back. But really, what are these costing me? Like, the 30k per year? You can see here we're just profitable in October. We're not losing money in a big way. So we're just going to hang on here for a few years. I would really, like, it would be my dream to replace this train over here with a faster train. It would be super great, to the point where I'm considering even just, maybe if I knocked off a couple of these vehicles, it would only be 800k, so I could pull that off no problem, and it would be a much faster train. Is that something I want to do? I don't know if that's something I want to do. But I mean, at least 4 of our lines are profitable. And these tram lines are sort of paying for the bus lines. Not quite, but almost. Almost paying for those. So you can see last year we made a profit of 91k. Now the most important thing is we need to get that loan down. Like, really badly, we need to get that loan repayment down, because it's really hurting us. And I know I've said that pretty much a lot, but this is kind of like what the game is at this point, is let's wait until we have money. So once this train lands, I am going to pay for the speed upgrade with the better train. I'm just going to hope that can carry us through the dark times. So how much is it? 800k. So if I grab $1 million in loan, 850k. Okay. I paid for the upgrade of the better steam engine. There it is. And I'm hoping that the speed that this is capable of will pay for it over time. It will increase the costs of running the train, but you can see it's much faster already. It's up to 25 kilometers per hour, and it's going uphill. So yeah, I'm hoping that this works out. If not, I've probably screwed myself because I can't take in any more loan to improve my services. But this train should now be more frequent. Look at it, it's up to 45 kilometers per hour already on a very short distance, so it already feels quite a bit quicker. But we did have to spend a lot to get to this point. We're 10 years into the game now, actually, and I think we're doing pretty good. We only have 2 towns connected, and we have a little bit of an industrial line going. But it shouldn't be too long until we're actually making some money. Some of the really interesting things you can do in the game is I like to have a look at these graphs. You can see this town started out around 160, 170 people, and now it's up around the 270 people. So we've already like significantly grown this town to the point where we want to maybe at some point reassess our bus routes and stuff. For example, do we need more? Maybe these routes just aren't frequent enough to capture people or something. I mean, that's always an option. But you can see this guy's way speedier. Look at him. He's already here and he's going 30 kilometers per hour, whereas the other train had to get to here and to go 30. He's almost already going the maximum speed of the other train here, when the other train didn't hit its maximum speed till about over here. So I'm hoping that this investment was correct, and it will over time produce good results for us. But my number one priority right now is god damn it, reducing my debt, because it's super hurting me right now. I think I'm going to turn off the payments, so I'm going to turn off seeing the costs of trains and stuff like that, and just seeing the income pop up, because that's, it's a more positive experience to see income rather than expenses. Oh, a little bit of an autosave there. So this guy should dip off now, and he got 400k. Because he moved faster, he got paid more, even though it was the same distance. So it looks like that may pay off, and it looks like he started this journey back in January. So we'll see how long it takes him to go the other way. Do I have you selected? Let me see you. Let's follow you along. So going the other way, yeah, we are just about making some money so we can start repaying off this loan. And once you pay off your loan, it takes off a huge burden off your profitability. For example, our loan interest is pretty much like 10% of our income, which is a lot. It's more than 10% of our income. Considering our running costs are almost 90% of our income, it's like almost wiped out our what you call it? Our profitability. Like almost all of our revenue is being sucked up by the loan and the running costs. So that's something we want to see if we can clear out. We won't be buying any new vehicles, so that shouldn't be hurting us. So it's in June and he's made it. He's loaded and he's gone already by June. So the other train, it took almost a year to get from here to here, whereas this train can make that journey in 6 months. So I'm hoping that's a good sign. These passenger lines. The passenger lines aren't making a huge amount of money, but they are profitable, which is good. Tram lines are moderately profitable. They're making money. They're not making a huge amount of money, but they're making money, which is good. The main thing that the trams are doing are feeding passengers to the train stations. They're feeding passengers over here, and those passengers are then getting on the trains, which are much more profitable than the trams. You can see we have enough trams here now that there isn't a huge buildup of passengers. And this town should actually have a pretty, it has nearly 60% of the population is using this tram line to get around. Plus the other bus routes, but that's who cares about that. And again, over here you can see sort of similar stuff. If I click on Fort Lauderdale, almost 50% of people are using this tram line. To be fair though, another thing that you will see actually, which is happening over here, is people will start to build their houses near the train station because they want to live near the transportation line, right? And again, you'll probably start to see that sort of thing over here. You remember there wasn't much over here, and now they're building around this. It's pretty interesting. Okay, we can repay a piece of our loan, so that's going to start to bring our costs down, which will start to compound and make us more money. It's going to take us a bit of time though to get over that hump and get over the hill, so I'm just going to talk about whatever I feel like. We dropped off a little bit more money. Yeah, but I actually, I actually love these kind of games. I love these kind of... there's just something really satisfying about playing management games. I don't know what it is, but these kind of transport management games, they're a lot of fun. I like playing the... I really want someone to make... basically Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe, but 3D and better. I just want everything about it to be better. I want it to be more functional. I want it to run better. I want it to have more features. I want it to have the features that OTTD has. But a lot of these games, they're not quite the mark. Like the signaling in this game is really simple. The routing is kind of too simple. The thing this game actually does really well, I think, is trams and buses. I think it actually does a really good job of them. But the main thing is the train signaling is really poor. The economic simulation, I think, is superior in this game than compared to OTTD. The profitability versus maintenance costs of your trains and your empire and stuff like that is better in this game. I think the balance is closer to where it should be. I feel like it's really easy in Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe, for example, to make a lot of money. And then the game becomes trivial, whereas in this game, it feels like it's a little bit more challenging. There's kind of this point where you're kind of just hanging on, you're just barely making a profit, and you're trying to squeeze out every ounce that you can out of your lines. So we're about to drop off another load here. 400k, ba-boom. Then we're going to load up with food. So we're mildly profitable at this point. I need to repay these loans though, so my loan interest has dipped now, because we're in September. I'm hoping that it has dipped down a little bit, because we did manage to repay a little bit. But yeah, I don't know, did you guys ever play Railroad Tycoon 3? That's another fantastic game. I want to see more games like that. I want to see more tycoon games. I want to see more management games. I think they're really great games, and I think it's a genre that's really a little bit underserved. I mean, we have stuff like Prison Architect and RimWorld and this game, and there's a lot of games, but I always feel like the games, they're kind of ham-fisted. They're kind of, it's not that they're bad, it's not that they're like, they're so close to being good, but there's like all these little issues with them that are almost like indicative of amateur developers that make them not quite as fun as they should be. So we have brought down the loan interest a little bit. Now, we weren't as profitable this year as we were last year. I think that just has to do with the synchronicity of the routes. But we've got a little train heading back here. It is, and for example, this game, there is an unfortunate part of the game where if you're not extremely good at the game, there's a little bit of waiting around while you wait for money to come in, I'm just sitting here waiting to repay a loan. Trying to think of how could I spend money to make more money? I could probably add, if I were able to afford an extra 2 trains on this route, actually, that could be one way. But even so, like, this train has the capacity for 56 and it's not even full, So, is that even worth it? I don't know, I don't think so. Oh my god, this tram route, doing work. It's making 20k. It's not making a huge amount of money, but it is making money, at least. That's something to be said in the positive nature of it. Could I actually mess around with this? It would cost me 300k to replace this. If I were to make it bigger and longer, it would slow the train down, but each trip would be worth more. That's a hard thing to decide. So I'm hoping that we will just about go up above the 500k mark that I'll be able to repay. And we're profitable in this year, which is good. We are slowly bringing down the loan interest costs. Which is, hopeful that we can bring that down to a manageable level. Something else I really like about this game is actually, I like just kind of following the trains when I'm waiting for this sort of stuff, and then just thinking about whatever I want to think about, and then like, I'll zoom out and I'll look at the map and I'll say, maybe I want to build, or maybe I want to connect up over here, maybe I want to connect up over there, and stuff like that, and I'll think about that. So we're just almost ready to repay another chunk of this loan. Boom, there we go. We're slowly cutting down that loan, which is eating into our profits. I might leave this game kind of just semi-running in between episodes while I bring this down. I don't want to make you watch all of this while we just repay this loan. It's not very interesting gameplay, sadly. But we just don't have the money to actually extend our empire. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to wipe out the loan interest and hope that over the long term it will it'll do a good job and cut down how much I owe and stuff like that. It'll sort of compound. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to wipe out the loan interest, because over time that'll compound, and it'll compound and cost me money. Alright, we've got a train moving. Choo choo. It looks like we're making somewhere between... It's hard to tell exactly how profitable we are, but we're making a decent money. And you can see actually, it looks like our loan interest went up last year, or this year or something. So maybe we hit some sort of milestone that increased costs. The train dropped off here, picked up all those passengers. I like it whenever I drop off food here, this food truck line becomes profitable, which is nice. We're repaying a good amount. Loan balance, borrow 500k, repay. So once this guy dips off, he should drop off a pretty big chunk of money. We're into January now, so it looks like we lost 140k. Holy crap, the loan interest is already 130k here. Oh, it looks like it's paid off at the start of the year. So we're slowly starting to wipe that off our board. Like compared to a few years ago, we were saving 15k a year, which is pretty damn good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually kind of just end this video here, and then I'm going to let the game run a little bit for a while we wipe out this loan debt. I'll probably get it down a couple million, and then we'll maybe start building again. But I want to thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this series. I know this isn't super interesting, but this is kind of the game. I'm showing you the game, you know? This isn't super interesting, but this is just kind of the way I play. Hopefully things will get a little bit more interesting once we start making some real money. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see more from me. Remember to leave a like if you want to directly support me. And remember to leave a comment if you want to give me your feedback. Other than that, I want to say I love you all very much. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.